Hi there, Tim from K-On. Today we're looking at the seat-mounted fire extinguisher bracket for the Prado 250 and the LandCruiser 300. This seat-mounted bracket is an excellent place to install a fire extinguisher. It will fit both electric seats and manual seats, left and right as well, passenger and driver. As a matter of fact, because Toyota use a standard seat rail, it also fits the RAV4. Now, because it's attached to the seat, it actually moves with the seat when you adjust your seat, so it means that the extinguisher or whatever you're attaching there is out of the way. Now, great place for extinguisher, 500 gram, 1 kilo, or your solid state extinguisher. But also use your imagination. You could put a torch there, anything you like that you want to grab quickly. It's an ideal place to store a fire extinguisher. It's easily accessible, so you can quickly grab that extinguisher if any sort of situation arises. Because our extinguisher bracket actually moves with the seat, the way we achieve that is we actually sandwich the bracket in between the seat and the sliding rail. Now, the bolts that hold the seat to the sliding rail are really hard to get to, especially on the electric seat versions. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the seat out to install the bracket. Now, to do that, we'll slide the seat back, undo the front 2 bolts, slide it forward, and undo the 2 back bolts. To do that, we're going to need a Torx 50, I believe. Let's go ahead and remove the seat. These are the bolts here that hold the seat down. Now make sure you have a good tool because these can be pretty tight. That's that one. Okay, slide it forward, gives us access to the ones at the back. Okay. So with electric seats, you're going to have some wiring that's going to hold this sort of seat to the car. We have to disconnect it before we remove it. So just tilt the chair up after you've removed the bolts, and you can see this is the cable that supplies all the power to the seat. We need to disconnect everything. So let's go ahead and disconnect them. Usually a little tab to push to pull them out. These ones are relatively easy to get out. There you go. And this one's clipped into place here, so we'll just unclip this one as well. There you go. Just place the wiring loom down there. Now, seat is free. We'll grab the seat and take it out. Just make sure you don't scratch anything, and we'll put it on the floor. So now we can remove this seat. And at the Toyota factory, they've got robots to do this. So I'm going to channel my robot and see what I can do. Stand, move it all the way forward. Do a nice twisting action. Don't get in the way. That's not too bad. Make sure we don't bump anything on the way out. Ta-da! It's out. The back there. So we're going to have access to the bottom. Actually, do it this way. Okay, much better access underneath there now. The seat is actually bolted onto the rail with these bolts and studs. So we need to undo these. So this one's on this side and the other one's underneath on the inside here. So we want to get some good access to those because they can be very tight. On this side here, the 2 bolts are here, but this little trim's getting in the way. So we're going to remove this trim, and it's not too hard to do. And this is another reason why you sort of want to take the seat off to do this, because it'd be really hard to remove this. And then we just lift that off and we get nice access to these 2 bolts. Now, to loosen these bolts off, we want a 12mm spanner, ring spanner. And again, these can be very tight. So make sure you crack these open with a ring spanner. Wrong way, sorry. It's upside down, everything's upside down. So make sure you turn it the right way. There you go. What we need to do is we need to loosen those off so we can get a gap in between the rail and the bracket. There you go, you see that little gap there? This one here, just have to move the carpet, undo those. Okay. Now we've got a bit of a gap there. Now we're ready to install the bracket. So this is the bracket here. You can see the slotted holes on either side. Put one side in first, just separate the C there, just separate the seat from the rail. That pops in there. The bracket here, you can bend a little bit to get it in and then just do the same thing and place it in between the seat and the rail. Just push it all the way home tight. Make sure the bracket's spread out both ways and seated underneath those bolts nicely. So that's all in position. Time to tighten up the bolts again. So you can do this in the vehicle, especially if you don't have electric seats, but imagine doing sort of, you know, bending over and doing that sort of contortionist stuff to try to get access to these bolts. Make sure they're nice and tight. Okay, do the other side. Wind those down and tighten these ones up. Now that we've got this bracket in place, we can actually put that little shroud back that we took off before to get access to the bolts. So I'm happy with that. We'll put that little plastic shroud back on. This one's pretty easy to do. Just hook it over the top there. Just clip it back in place. There you go. Time to lift it back in the car. Ah, yes, it's easier. Okay, that worked. So we just, and then rotate it. Okay, it's in. We've got the seat back into the car, and upon second thoughts, you could probably get this done with the seat in the car without having to take it out, because you can have access there, take this cover off, you can have access to those bolts, and you could probably get access to those bolts there as well just by loosening off the seat. But definitely easier if you can get it out, and definitely easier if you can get a second person to help you take that seat out. But we've got it all in place now, so the first thing I'll do is I'll clip everything back in. So put this loom back in, that one back on, that one back on. So satisfying clipping everything back in. There you go, all back in, and we'll get this chair back in place. Little pins will drop in just like that. And the last thing to do now is to get these bolts back in. And tighten those bolts back down. Process. Get this trim clip back on first. There you go. Okay, I'll torque up the back ones, then I'll go back to the front ones and tighten those ones up too. The front bolts. Okay, now your bracket's in your car. We need to install a fire extinguisher. You can install a 1 kilo fire extinguisher, and the brackets that come with these, whether it's the plastic ones like on this one or the metal ones, will attach to that bracket. Or you can install a solid state extinguisher like this Fire Strike with some quick fists. Check that the type of fires that the extinguishers are rated for suits the application that you're potentially going to use it for. We like the Fire Strikes, long expiry on this one. This one expires in 2032, so still 7 years on this. And you get 100 seconds of firefighting time. Nice and light as well, so we're going to stick this in. We'll show you how to do it. Brackets come with some hardware to attach your extinguisher, or if you're installing quick fists, it comes with some M5 hardware, nuts, bolts and washers. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to install some quick fists. So I'll get a washer and the nylock nut on the back of this. It's a little fiddly, but not too bad considering you only have to do it once. Okay. no strike in place. So I've actually moved it across this way so that it's not in the way when you're getting out of the vehicle. And the other nice thing about having it mounted on the seat is it moves backwards and forwards with you instead of other styles which actually sort of bolted to the floor. It's all done, nice and secure, and the quick fists, they don't rattle or anything like that, and they're quick to get out too. So that's a pretty comfy position for my driving, and like it doesn't really get in the way at all, even when I'm sort of driving, you know, when you're driving and you want to rest your feet somewhere, it's good not to have an extinguisher in your way. So that's tucked up under the seat, which is good. That's the extinguisher mount installed. For more information, visit the website kayan.com.au.
We didn't actually talk about what you need to talk about. Do you know what you need to talk about?
Let's just ramble. Because you never know when a fire's going to break out. It is a great place to put an extinguisher, quick access. An ideal place to put a fire extinguisher is to have a fire extinguisher. To have a fire extinguisher. Have a fire extinguisher. To have a fire extinguisher. Look at the giggles now. Extinguisher. Have a fire extinguisher.
Sorry, I was just holding it in.
Speaking of
You look like you're crying.
Speaking of emergencies, now I can't say emergency. Speaking of emergency. God, place to have a fire extinguisher. Ideal place to have a fire extinguisher.
Oh, sorry.
Extinguisher. I said it okay before. I've got one taken there, I'm sure I do. I'm going to have a numb foot by the end of this. Okay.